Jim Crow. He's seen the integration of NBA, NFL. Y'all already know who it is. It's my boy Chuck, aka B Legend in the building. Go say what's happening.
What's going on, people? I don't know about being that old.
You don't know about being that old?
You know, this gray here.
I get 38, bro. We're great.
But you know, this gray is sexy.
Oh, they like the song couple. They like the song couple. Hey, and make sure y'all stay tuned throughout the whole show. At the end of the show, we're going to have a Ralph's messy moment at the end of the show where he wants to talk about some messy stuff going on
I just need to hear from the fellas, man. I just need an opinion.
Now the Chuck's here. I want to hear what Chuck got.
I definitely want to hear what you guys say.
You gonna say yeah?
What?
Yeah,
It's not sports related.
It involves one particular woman.
Oh my God.
One woman, two men.
Two men.
Yeah, one woman, two men.
Y'all trying to get me sad. I'm all good for it.
Yeah, we going down. So let's get on into the proceedings, man. Let's talk about Victor WAY. He played in the summer league last week. He played 2 games. He had a horrible first game. He followed it up with a very good second game where he had 27-9 or something like that. But after the first game, a lot of people were on his head. Oh man, he's a bust. I told you he wasn't gonna be there. And I'm like, bro, it's a summer league and it's the first game. What y'all wanted him to drop 40 the first game? Like what
we talking about?
No, Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah,
Victor Wembanyama. Yeah. So after his first game, there was a lot of criticism going around from everybody, kind of calling him a bust, and he ain't gonna survive, and he's just gonna be average and a role player. But my thoughts on it is, bro, it's summer league first and foremost. And like I mentioned in the Beyond the Game group, some people don't remember Anthony Bennett had a great summer league. How'd that turn out?
Is he even in the league?
He's playing overseas somewhere. So the point is like, let's calm down on giving, all this criticism to him after one subpar game, and then he followed up with a good game, even though they shut it down. I don't agree with that. I feel like he should have played some more. But anyway,
that's scared of injury, bro.
Man, that's a part of sports, bro.
It is, man.
That's a part of sports. You're gonna get injured, you're gonna get injured.
Not your top player though. Not in summer league.
Hey man, I gotta see what I got, man.
That's true.
I gotta see what I got. But anyways, Ralph, what's your thoughts? Was Victor Wembanyama getting too much criticism after his first couple games of summer league?
Yes, bro. We gotta slow down. You know the saddest part about the criticism that he was getting? It's like people are almost waiting for him to fail.
Yes.
And that's haters. The part, and like you said, haters, and that's the part that's sucky about the situation. 2 games, even if he had breakout games in 2 games, we still don't know what he's going to be at the start of the NBA season or throughout the NBA season. So give the man some time, bro. He's a young kid. He's very talented. I'm excited to see what he does. Whether he's going to be that guy or not, still yet to be seen, but we won't know until years from now. So give the guy some time, bro. He's a young kid.
Is that where we at, Chuck? Like, no, all jokes aside, Chuck, have you ever seen? I don't even think LeBron got this much criticism coming into the league, but have you ever seen a player from day one after his first game, not even a real quote unquote game, get so much criticism?
I probably ain't seen him get that much criticism, but in terms of having all that pressure, yeah. I mean, you got 100%. You got a few other players that have had that pressure from day one. He's no different because why? Now he's the second coming of LeBron, right?
Which I don't agree with that.
Different player, right?
Totally different, bro.
Totally different player, but he's the second coming of LeBron. But in terms of pressure, they put all that on his shoulders. But I mean personally, I don't know. I didn't expect anything from him. Really.
I didn't either.
To be 100%, to be 100% honest with you, I didn't even expect him to play in some
Me neither.
Well, I knew he was going to play a few games, but
I thought he might play 1 game. Just he's the big guy. What I'm saying, big splash. But I didn't.
It's fine. But
does he have too much pressure?
I don't know if he's got too much pressure, but
because
I say it this way: I think the way that the media does, the way that they operate, and because of social media, it's going to be an enormous amount of pressure. And when he comes into the league. And when he comes out and he plays, because number one, he's not playing 82 games. I can tell you that right now.
77, 75.
I give him at least 60.
60?
Okay. I give him at least
number
60.
2, they don't even want to play in the 5.
Oh, bro.
They want to play the 4. So, when he comes out and he struggles, they're going to be all over him. And is it unfair? Sure. It's unfair, but it is what it is. The way I look at it, man, you get paid all that money. Do I think it's fair? No. But, hey, it is
Because I get the criticism. I get that there's going to be expectations with you being the number one pick, with you being that talented guy. But Russ, it's the being overcritical of him. Yeah. It's like everything. If he misses one shot, I knew he couldn't. Like, come on, man, give him a chance, man.
Man, I'm right there with you. It seemed, like you said, it seemed as though everybody was wanting this kid to fail. And I seen more people rooting for him. And this is just in the Beyond the Game group that I've seen this. I've seen more people rooting for him to fail than to succeed. And I'm like, bro, he's like 19. And like,
he's a young kid.
He got haters, man.
He went from overseas to can he get adjusted?
Nope.
He can't get adjusted.
They said he should have already been adjusted.
And even he came out and admitted, he said, I really didn't know what I was doing out there.
Bro,
and I get that. He's 19. He gets thrown out there, have at it.
I feel like the speed of the game is different also.
He had to get adjusted to it.
Well, I also think that anyone that's going to be critical of this kid, coming out, he's over in Europe, he's coming over here, he's 19 years old. Anybody that wants to be critical of that kid right now is an idiot.
Absolutely.
So,
I agree, bro.
I mean, that's just my opinion. I mean, hopefully I don't offend nobody. If I do, that's just my opinion.
It's the truth, man.
I just didn't put that much into it. I was intrigued, right? I wanted to see this. They say he's 7'5", but I guess he's 7'3" without shoes.
Somewhere.
I wanted to see this kid. I wanted to see how he played. Cause I'll admit I didn't watch him over in
Not much.
But I'm also intrigued because the NBA is so much. The players in the NBA are so much bigger, so much faster. So I'm very curious to see how this 7'5" skinny guy is going to be able to function in this league. He's a generational talent. He can handle the ball. He can do a lot of different things at 7'5" that we've never seen people do. So I'm curious to see it, but I mean,
I ain't rooting for him to fail. My only issue with him is longevity because guys his size usually don't have long careers. I think Yao was like 10, 11 years.
Are you talking about height or are you talking about size?
Height.
Because Yao had size. He was big. This dude is skinny.
He is, man. But I guess I see it as a way as opposite Zion, where Zion is putting too much on his knees, and homeboy with all this jumping and running that he's got to do in the NBA, he ain't got nothing on his knees.
Man, I don't know.
Sometimes with him, he really doesn't have to jump. Sometimes you seen some of the shots he took in the second game. He really don't have to jump much. It's more just kind of a hop.
You know what?
What's up?
I was thinking about this the other day. This is a sidetrack. I'm starting to think, man, that Zion may be the next Greg Oden. But anyway,
it's a fact, bro. It's a fact.
I don't know, Chuck. Greg Oden just can't stay healthy. He was trying. I don't even think Zion's trying.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. It don't matter the reason or rationale, right? I mean, I can say Greg Oden. I can say Eddie Curry. I can say a lot of different dudes, right?
Eddie Curry, this guy.
Well, I'm just saying.
I remember them guys.
Eddie Curry.
Was he the second coming to Shaq?
Yeah. Him and Tyson Chandler was supposed to be Shaq and Kevin Garnett 2.0.
And the only reason I thought about Eddie Curry because I saw this little posting probably about a week ago, and I said, "Oh, dang, look at that Eddie Curry."
I forgot all about Eddie Curry.
Too, I remember they played for the Bulls.
So you look at all those dudes, man. You look at Sean Bradley, but Sean Bradley didn't have that type of height.
Yeah.
None of that type of stuff. But anyway, that was just a sidetrack.
So before we take commercial break, what do y'all consider a successful rookie season for him, Chuck? Averages, rebounds, points, and assists. What do you see him averaging to have because people gonna be like, if he averages, I think he's gonna average like 16 and 8. I feel like that's a successful rookie season.
I say 20 and 10.
You say 20 is hard for a rookie.
But at his size, with his athletic ability, with him being the star player, probably taking the most shots on that team, I can see 20 and 10.
I see 20, 10, and probably close to, I wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if he had maybe, average 6 blocks again.
Yeah, so
6?
I say at least 3 to 5, somewhere in that range.
6 blocks a game, Chuck.
He's right here.
It is asking a lot, but bro, he's tall.
And the only reason I say that, and that's a stretch. I will say that's a stretch. I think it's a stretch from. The 10, I think he could get the 10. And the reason why I think he gets the 10 rebounds is because he likes to rebound and push.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's right.
So the blocks, I'm only saying the blocks, and I know it's a stretch just because of the fact that dudes are going to try him.
Come on, man.
Yeah. They're going to try. So
as they should.
Even if it's a block on help defense.
Yeah,
I just
so
see him,
long.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That I mean, because you gotta remember, we ain't talking about just smacking stuff on the glass. All you gotta do is tip it. So dude's gonna come in right. They're gonna try a little teardrop. The last time you saw it, when is the last time you seen somebody shoot a teardrop over a dude that's 7'5" and probably got a wingspan? They don't practice that shot. I mean, I'm just saying they don't practice that shot. So I'm just saying it could, but maybe 20, maybe 20, 10, and 3.
I think so.
20, 10, and 3, 20 points, 10 rebounds, 3 blocks.
Something like that. Maybe 18, 10, and 3. Something like
okay,
that.
that's fair. That's fair. We got 17 and 12 on here. Sean Gary said most guys that size have serious foot injuries. What do y'all think about that?
That's true.
I was gonna say foot and knee.
I mean, that's true. I mean, if you look back historically, guys that tall, they tend to, I forgot what that injury is called, but they do tend to have that foot injury where they break their foot a lot. So I think that's possible. Hopefully it doesn't happen. I like to see the kid play.
Right.
See what goes on.
Won't be as a long career, man.
He will.
I mean, Pop's there for 5 more years, 80.
Oh, they had to do that.
Well, but see, it was funny, and I said this, when we were talking about the draft, I said I knew that he was going to do something.
It only makes sense.
It only made it because they had to put them back on the map. But if you look at Pop signed a 5-year deal, and Pop reset the market because Monty reset the market. Now Pop reset the market, but there's one thing that people aren't paying attention to with Pop and his deal. He is not only is he the coach, he's the president of basketball operations. That's the way his title reads.
He's a smart man,
and so
he's okay.
And what that does is that allows him to fade into the distance, and and just go be the president and general.
Go upstairs.
Yeah, I mean, so he's got a dual role. I mean, I don't think he coaches out 5. I think he is 79 when he's done.
He's up there
with the
bro.
5-year deal. So it wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't coach all 5. But anyway.
We got 25 and 9 and 3 blocks.
Who said that?
Both y'all. Nah, this comment was from Nicholas Holden. He said 25, 9 and 3 blocks as a rookie.
That's a lot, bro. That's a lot, bro.
I'm not saying he can't do it. I mean, that's
he's gonna have to ball out.
That's a lot.
That's a great ball out.
I mean, but he's so long.
He is, man.
So he's gonna get a lot of cheap baskets, a lot of easy baskets.
If I'm an NBA player with his size, I'm going right at his chest. I'm fouling him out. I'm going right at his chest. You got to show me.
They're going to.
You got to show me. But anyways, we're going to take a quick commercial break here on WLXU 93.9 FM. When we come back, we'll talk about how long should a player remain loyal to a franchise before he requests a trade. When we come back on Beyond the Game.
I want to know why they're releasing these job ones. I thought they cut him off.
He's still signed.
Huh?
He's still signed to Nike.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
Because they know money's
coming.
The
first color they were meeting. Their first color they released was gunmetal.
For real?
Nike's crazy.
No, it's
I was gonna say for real.
For real? Nah, it's this red.
I ain't a big fan of them, bro.
Nah, I don't like them.
I do like the Booker shoe though. The Devin Booker shoe is nice.
And who he play for?
Okay.
No, Kentucky dude.
No, it ain't nothing to do with that. Like
I said he's a Kentucky guy.
Yeah.
I didn't even know Book had a shoe.
Yeah, I think it's new.
Yeah, it's called the Book One.
Yeah.
Trash name for a trash shoe.
All right, mama's coming back out. That's all I care about.
Yeah, next month, ain't it?
Yeah, boy.
That's all I care about. Y'all just have these garbage KDs and all that.
All you want is the Kobe's.
Nah, I don't want none of them, man. I just want to get a couple pair of Kobe's so I can put them up.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Yeah,
I want the Grinches. I do want the Grinches. I want them.
Boy.
That's about it. I don't want nothing else, man. They don't need my money. I'm nobody.
Welcome back to Beyond the Game with WLXU 93.9 FM. We was talking about Dame Lillard has requested a trade finally after all of these years to move on from the Portland Trail Blazers after they could not consistently build a contender around him. So after all of these years, people have told him, KG's told him, bro, you're wasting your time. You need to get on out of there. But he wants to be loyal loyal to the soil. We see how that goes for him.
Get you nowhere.
Get you nowhere fast. But there's other guys who get talked about for team hopping, but we ain't gonna talk about that. That's neither here nor there. So, so Clay, I'm gonna throw it over to you, man. How long should a player remain loyal to a franchise before he requests a trade? Because the days of Kobe and Dirk and MJ, go.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oops. Sorry, go ahead.
We can't get through one show.
It just came out.
We can't get through one show, man.
Hey, bro.
It came out.
Oh my goodness. The point ain't making, ladies and gentlemen, is that the days of one guy staying with a team is no longer happening. So how long should a guy remain loyal to a franchise? Clay, floor is yours, man.
As long as they loyal to you.
The hell, they ain't never loyal.
They ain't never to unless it's the Lakers. The Lakers, I would say, probably one of the only consistent loyal teams.
Maybe.
Maybe. I mean,
yeah. Miami.
I think that. Well, go ahead, Ralph.
No, you can go ahead.
Go ahead.
No. Because I was going to start off with you brought up LeBron, and to me, when LeBron chose to leave Cleveland, it was about damn time that LeBron chose to leave Cleveland. They were not building teams that were going to put LeBron in a position to help him win championships. So he gave them almost 10 years. I feel like that's being over loyal. So back to Dame. Dame has given this team, he got drafted in 2012, so he's given them almost 11 years.
Mm-hmm. How much more time do you
want this man to give you? You know what I'm saying? I respect Dame for being loyal for a team that drafted him when nobody knew who really Dame was coming out of Weber State.
That's right.
I feel like that plays a major part in him wanting to be loyal to the Portland Trail Blazers. But, bro, I mean, we don't know when your last days are going to be in the NBA, and you deserve at least a chance to contend for a championship. So, for me, he's been over loyal. I don't necessarily know the number to put on, like how long a player should stay, whether it be 5 years, 7 years, but Dame has been over loyal, and it's been time for him to go. So, in his situation,
I say 2 contracts. 2 contracts, your rookie contract and then your contract extension. That should give a team 8 to 10 years with you, right? If you can't build around this particular guy in 8 to 10 years, then you don't deserve the player.
That's the number, 8 to 10.
8 to 10, because
I agree.
8 to 10 is when you right in the middle of your prime, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, so y'all want this dude to race to his prime years, and y'all got, these subpar players around him. So I say 8 to 10 years before a player should be like, look, man, this ain't it, bro. This ain't it. And even sooner, if you play for a team like Portland Trail Blazers. I mean, you got a short leash when you got situations like that. And I also know location plays a part in it too.
I guess that's one of the biggest.
I mean, I guess in reference, I think it's two different questions. I think the loyalty part for any team, I think as long as you win it, I think you're fine. That's just what I think.
But hold on, but define winning. What?
Because they made the playoffs a couple times.
They've been to the playoffs.
What I mean by that's fine. But what I mean by winning, I mean if you're going to the playoffs consistently. Okay. You're having winning seasons. Yeah. I mean, look, anything happens in the season. Dudes get hurt. You may be one piece away. You may have a situation where somebody, leaves that was there. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into that. But if you're winning and you're making the playoffs, you're not a bum team. You're winning. Mm-hmm. Now, what do we call winning? Are we saying we got to win the West? Is that defined? Or we got to win the East? Is that's what we define winning? No. Because you're not going to win those respective conferences every year. But if you're able to compete at a high level, you're winning.
So high level will be something like conference finals, at least getting there?
That's hard to get there. I mean, even if you get to the semis. I mean, if you're going to say, so like, for example, if you take a guy, and we always come up on this, but I only bring this up just because I just remember him saying that after they got swept. LeBron says going to the conference finals is nothing to him. So in his mind, winning is winning a championship, right? In a guy like Kobe's mind, winning is winning a championship.
The reason why I asked you, question. So, do you feel like Portland has been competitive in the years ahead?
Now, I think that the Dame thing is being completely blown out of proportion when we start talking about, the loyalty and this and that, because I look at Dame's situation as this: it doesn't matter. The fact that he's been there 11 years. It doesn't matter how loyal that he's been. it's the reality to it. We can't say that Portland's not building a team around him because here is the truth. The truth is nobody's going to Portland. That's the truth.
That's true.
So they're doing as good as they can, basically.
So they're doing as best as they possibly can. Nobody's going. Now, if you want to criticize them for the way that they draft, okay.
I was getting ready.
If you want to do that, that's fine. If you want to, but you can't criticize them because they can't get a guy that wants to come, that does not want to come on the other side of the earth to go play for Portland up in the north west corner of the United States, where there's really nothing there from a marketing standpoint to nothing, and the guy says, no, man, you talk to the dudes in the league, they will tell you nobody wants to go to Portland. There's nothing in Portland. When Portland went to the finals and they played the Bulls those 2 years, those guys were drafted.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying this whole, Dame's been loyal and this and that. What Dame you had? You chose to sign that extension.
True.
Dame did not have to sign that extension to pay him all that money.
True.
But regardless of any of that, Dame also knew that he talked to enough dudes in the league.
Yeah. Nobody's coming.
So I think everybody needs to stop with all this stuff. Oh, well, Dame, he's been loyal. He's this, he's that. Okay, well, yeah, he signed up to play all that time, but Dame knew. Everybody knows.
Mm.
And then they go out but then they go out and do something that I think was just, I don't know what they were thinking. I think they did it to try to please Dame. And I know they want to back off of it, but they can't do it because it's just bad business. But why would you sign Jeremy Grant to $160 million?
I don't get it either. How?
You thought that
what has he done?
You thought that was going to please Dame?
We got Jeremy Grant. I'm going to stay now.
That makes absolutely no sense. It makes no sense
The only thing I
would say what's that saying, Chuck? Throwing bad money after good?
Yeah. And then you got the other piece where basically they told you from the standpoint in the draft, trade the pick.
Yes.
Getting Scooter Henderson was not going to do anything for you. So I don't blame.
It's just not the player they needed to go along.
But I don't blame Portland if Portland says, you know what? I know I'm gonna end up trading this dude anyway. He's gonna ask
we
out.
need something.
So I might as well go ahead and get the best available player.
I think that's what their thought process was.
Because Portland's not stupid. They know people aren't coming. And Jeremy Grant's crazy because I would have went to Dame and said, hey man,
what you doing?
What are you gonna do?
Yep.
Because I know I gotta assume, listen, he got $160 million.
That's good.
So he's gonna play that gun.
He's good.
But behind the scenes, dudes don't want to live in Portland, man.
You could, but also at the same time, there could be situations where I don't know if y'all heard or remember the Paul George and AD situation, where AD wanted to come to the Pacers. Paul George took that to management. They didn't want to trade for him. So there could be situations like that where Dame, because a lot of this stuff happens at All-Star games and at the Olympics, right? Because they all with each other. So it could be a situation where it's like, hey, Dame came to me, hey, such want to come. Can we? But Dame, he can't give up.
You tell me one player that you've heard that wanted to go to Portland.
Brian.
No, he did.
Like I said, you tell me one player that has came out and said, because you hear about this stuff. You tell me, deals that didn't fall through or what, you tell me. One player that you've heard his story.
It's gonna come out on a Dame podcast one of these days.
It would have already come out.
I don't know. PG just came out,
PG ain't going to no Portland.
No, I'm saying when he came out with his story about he went to management in Indiana, it was years later.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So Dame might come out years later and say, hey, look, man, such wanted to come, management didn't want to do it. Well, then Portland needs to look at their scouting because don't nobody want to go to San Antonio. And besides Victor Wembanyama, they got 5 championships with Tim drafted, Manu drafted, Tony Parker drafted. Yeah. So Steven Jackson, he wasn't drafted.
But again, those you think about the Spurs. The Spurs did a very, very good job in drafting. They had R.C. Buford in that gang that went out and scouted guys and got them in and built a contender. Mm-hmm. Portland, nothing against Portland, but at the end of the day, who's going to Portland? If anything, maybe they think about moving out of Portland, but that ain't gonna happen.
Oh, that's definitely not
just
happening.
Because they want to put a team in Seattle. Yep. Same thing gonna happen with Seattle. Nobody's going to going out there.
Oh, somebody gonna play for the Seahawks. Not the Seahawks, the Supersonics. Yeah, they're gonna play for the Supersonics.
What's the difference?
Why not? It's the Seattle Supersonics.
Why? I mean, Seattle's only less than 100 miles from Portland.
That's neither here nor there. It's the Seattle Supersonics, baby. Yeah.
KD was drafted to the Supersonics. Westbrook was drafted to the Supersonics.
No, Westbrook was drafted to
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Ain't
nobody. I mean, Greg Oden went out to Portland. Trash.
What a waste of time.
They just had bad luck because at one point they had Oden, LaMarcus Aldridge, and Brandon Roy.
Yeah, Brandon Roy was a killer.
Brandon was a killer.
He was a killer.
At one point they had
So I mean, like I say, so there's Dame. Now everybody's like, oh, well, they're screwing Dame over. No, they're not. Because.
So you saying Dame screwed himself?
Yeah, I do. I feel like he did screw himself because they're like, oh, well, you got to be loyal. You need to trade him. Okay. All right, Q, you want to be traded? I trade you.
I like that viewpoint.
I trade you, but here's my point.
It's like the Melo situation when he was in Denver, and you know how LeBron and D Wade and Chris Bosh all signed their extensions to all be free agents at the same time. But Melo was like, "No, I'm gonna get my bag," and he got his bag, and then he found out, "Hey, this ain't it, guys. This ain't it in Denver."
I don't know if it's that or not. But what I'm saying is, if I'm Portland and I'm their management, I'm looking at this like, "Hey, man, all right, cool, no problem. I'll trade you." But I'm gonna get the best deal for Portland. I don't care.
You got a no trade clause?
No.
Oh, I'm going.
I don't care where you want to go.
You want to go Miami? Okay, me too. But I'm gonna change you where I want to go.
You see what they said though? They said this may take
months.
But you heard what Dame's people said, right? They said, well, we warned anybody who trades for Dame that if he doesn't go to Miami, he's gonna be an unhappy player. Hey man, if I'm Portland.
Business is business.
You came to me and said you demanded a trade. You want to trade. I'm going to grant you your wish. But I'm going to trade you where I can get the most for you. I'm not going to trade you and get screwed over because you want to get traded.
See,
you know what?
Like KD and
that's what I was going to say. I think players look at situations like KD's and like, KD has to go to Phoenix. He got sent to Phoenix. Every owner is not going to do that.
I would not do it.
Every GM's
not. You know what? You convinced me because I agree with you on it is Dame's fault.
It is Dame's fault.
Yeah, I like his viewpoint.
I mean, think about it, Q. You said it yourself, right? You said it just came out. These guys, they go to All-Star games, they go to the Olympics, all this, right? They put all this together.
They definitely talk.
You trying to tell me that these dudes did not tell Dame? Dude, I would love to play with you.
Which is not important.
I ain't going to Portland. Why don't you try to come here? You think
100%,
because Dame was loyal and Dame wanted to build a contender and Dame wanted to win in Portland. So he wanted them.
Dame wanted that money too.
And he wanted them to come. Now, on top of all of that we just talked about, now you got to deal with the fact that this young man, and I ain't knocking Dame. Dame signed that contract, got that extension. Last 2 years of his deal, he makes $60 and $63 million.
Ooh,
right? So my thing is,
that's hard to pass on.
Now you're gonna go to a team. The salary cap is only 145, 152 until the new TV deal starts. So you're coming in and you're making almost half.
That's about 40% of the cap.
So now the question becomes, how do we build something around you? And that's what I don't understand about players. They go out and say they want to win, but they take out these max contracts. And, I mean, what do you expect? I mean, if I can go, Bruce Brown goes and gets $20 million, why he gonna sign someone for 12?
It don't make sense.
But you can make 40, you can make 40, you can make 35, but you want me to make 8. But I can go over here and make 20. But then you got guys like LeBron says, well, I could do that and take less money, but I don't want to set a precedent. Well, Brian, you're a billionaire. So who cares about you setting precedent?
You already don't set the precedent.
But, that's just me.
Two things about the Dame thing. You said, well, hold on. Let's take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll keep talking about this Dame situation when we come back on Beyond the Game with WLXU 93.9 FM.
I like that. I think I was caught up on the whole he's been too loyal, but you're right. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes there's facts and there's reality, bro. Like you put yourself in that situation.
And I hate to sound like this, but who want to go to Memphis?
You're right.
You can't even make no money. part of the reason why teams like the Lakers are such a huge draw is because of how much money you can make
outside of basketball.
New York, Brooklyn. But then you say, well, I got a team like Orlando. Well, you ain't making no money in Orlando, even though you got Disney World down there. But then you go to Miami, it's Miami,
yes, sir.
right? You know, so all that stuff play a difference in it. But man, y'all screwing Dame. No, Dame screwed himself. It's ridiculous.
To the point, you're right. I can't even argue it. You're right.
I would have been there. KG told him get out. You know, Minnesota small market. KG was in there for a long time.
Players think they bigger than what they are. You know what I'm saying?
Because look at this way. He signed. Think of it this way. He signed for 60, right?
Yeah.
What he could have did was sign for 45 and still get that money in the bigger market. Mm-hmm. He could have got that 15 million in a different market.
Somebody would have gave it to him.
I mean, dude, these guys making so much money on shoe deals and everything else. Come on, man. Come on.
I'm sorry, Dan. You might be
stuck. Nah, man.
That's
on you, Dan.
Yeah.
I wouldn't listen. I wouldn't do nothing until I got
all my money.
Nah, I wouldn't do nothing.
They're gonna make you like it.
Welcome back to Beyond the Game on WLXU 93.9 FM. And we talked a little Dame Lillard and his situation. How long should a player remain loyal? We talked about Dame, and Chuck brought up a whole bunch of good points. I don't even know where to dive in there. But anyways, let's talk about one of the points he said that Dame Lillard's contract, he signed for an extension, and Dame's representatives have came out and said, you know, don't trade for him because he's gonna be unhappy. To that, I say, bro, if I trade for you, you got 4 years left on your contract. What you gonna do? Be unhappy for 4 years? No, yeah. This ain't he got a 1 year deal left, and you know I'm afraid to trade for him because if he comes, he's only gonna play for one. No, if I trade for you, bro, you on my books for 4 years, you better put that ball in the hole. You better put that ball in the hole like you know how.
Put your feelings in your pocket.
Hey, bro, I don't know.
Empowerment.
It is. And then to the Bron taking a pay. Well, I ain't gonna say Bron. The max players on these teams taking pay cuts. I disagree with that, Chuck, because it's not my job to put the team together. You the GM for a reason. It's not my job to make your job easier.
No. But see, you missing my point. You're 100% correct. But what I'm saying to you is, if you got 3 dudes that are maxing out, okay, at 40-45 million, all right, you at 120 million bucks. 3 dudes. You have 15 positions max. You got 3 dudes. So my question is, don't complain and say you need people to win when you ain't got the money to pay nobody. So when I'm saying, if you're gonna sign three dudes to max deals, let's take Phoenix. They got 4. Right? And so you gotta surround yourself with a bunch of older guys, veteran guys who want to take minimum deals. So when you don't win, you can't bark at the office saying you got to put more people around me. How?
Because them 4 stars are supposed to get you to win.
Right.
So
when those dudes, you know, again, I could just pick, I could pick whatever team, but again, let's just stay with Phoenix. You got 4 dudes making that type of money. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, if they don't win, it's going to be because of the fact that they ain't got enough bench power to deal with what needs to be done. 100%. And so who you going to run back in there? Who you going to bark at? Management?
Yes, KD. Look in that mirror.
You know, KD, you came there. They had to give away everything they had to get you.
Which right? I still don't even know how they got
Bradley Beal. You came there.
That's what I'm saying.
They gave away Bradley Beal for nothing.
I still don't know how they.
Right?
I think Washington was just done with him.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, at the end of the day, that's why I like guys like Tim Duncan. Even though it's around the end of his career, Tim Duncan, he valued winning championships over all that money.
He did.
Right, wrong, or indifferent.
He did.
I don't blame. I'm not saying he's, I'm not judging him versus LeBron, him versus AD, him versus KD, da-da-da. I'm not doing it. All I'm saying is that those dudes said, you know what, collectively, him, Manu, Tony Parker, they all took less money so they could keep bringing in dudes so they could keep winning. That's all I'm saying.
No, I agree with you, Legend. I mean, I get what Q's saying also is it's your job as a player to go out there and play and get the most money you can, in the sport that you're playing. But at the same time, if there is a budget set and you know the budget And like you said, if you're gonna take up 40 to 50% of the budget, 50% of the budget is all that you got left to get all of these players as far as building a roster. So you kind of put yourself in that situation when you take all that money like that.
Yeah, right.
I'm not saying don't go get the money, but you got to look at the big picture.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
And
the Warriors did it.
Yeah, and they did it, and they are getting taxed out the wazoo for it.
But you got to have an owner who's willing to do that.
Exactly, and a lot of these teams, they can't do that because the markets don't justify it, and they can't make enough money to pay.
Yeah, in the Warriors situation, you got to look at 4 championships in 6-7 years.
Plus, they got Joe Lacob, they in San Francisco.
That's a different situation.
It's a different ball.
If you're just paying all this money to these players, like in the Phoenix situation, that's not bringing you anything. Then you just look at silly.
I mean, think about that for a second. You think 4-3? That's because 4 is extreme. That's not going to happen. The only reason that happens in Phoenix is because of Aiden, which I think they'll trade him at some point.
Somebody just commented about that. Somebody said the Suns. Hold on, let me pull this up. This is Maurice Triplett. He said the Suns will have to trade Aiden for role players. Can't keep all 4.
Yeah, can't keep all 4, right?
I think they should though.
But you look at somebody. Let's take Memphis for example. Mm-hmm. There's no way in hell that you're gonna put 3 max players in Memphis because you can't afford it.
I don't even know why they gave Desmond Bain the max contract.
Like, why?
I mean, because what I'm saying from a team perspective, it's too small of a market.
Now I get what you're saying. Yeah, you can't because the owner in those, and that's a large reason why a lot of people don't know this. The Charlotte Hornets were one of the most profitable franchise in the NBA because Jordan never paid the luxury tax.
Correct.
So he was always making a profit on that franchise because he never paid over the luxury tax.
And then they say, and again, not that he's made some bad decisions,
100%.
but they also say he's a terrible owner. But is he really a terrible owner? Because if you look at the back, he just sold his.
If you look at the numbers,
he showed part of his interest
for
$2 billion, right?
Bought it for like 280 million, I think.
Obviously, money was being made.
Yeah, so it's one of the most probably that's an interesting.
Not $2 billion. No, not 280. It's 2.
No. When he bought the franchise,
yeah,
he bought the franchise for 200.
And he ain't paid no luxury tax.
Like you said,
so,
is he a good owner?
I mean, if you look at it financially, probably so. If you look at it from choices that he's made
as far as
from
success,
I was gonna say from a business standpoint,
yeah.
he's probably an excellent owner. As far as team success, not
yeah,
so
because
much.
these teams will go above and beyond the call of duty to win a championship. They would sacrifice it, like Joe Lacob said, Golden State. I don't care. I'm writing the check. Right?
I get it
now because the Chris Paul trade makes absolutely no sense.
None at all.
It makes no sense whatsoever. But the reason why he did it, which still didn't make sense, was because it saved him. I don't know, something like 150 some odd million. But it didn't make any sense because they're still small. Chris Paul's gonna be hurt. They're still gonna be in the same spot.
I seen the tallest player on that squad is 6'9".
Yep.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Looney?
Looney, yeah.
It doesn't make any logical sense.
Good luck.
But they don't care. Lakeland will pay that money and be done with it. It's whatever.
So I got another comment. I think this is from Maurice Triplett again. Back to your LeBron comment. He said, LeBron take less than they'll expect every star player to take the less.
Exactly.
These teams are selling for billions. The owners can raise the salary cap. Steve Ballmer pays well over the salary cap and so does the Warriors. That's why they're changing the CBA.
Agreed.
To penalize the owners willing to pay money.
I agree. He's 100% correct. So
I just look at the success behind the owners making that decision. I mean, I get that Ballmer has all this money. He had money before he bought the Clippers, but what have the Clippers done lately?
I think there's maybe 5 owners that are willing to continuously go over the luxury tax. I think Ballmer will, Laker will, Jenny Buss will, whoever the owner of the Boston Celtics will. I think it's pretty much about it.
Pretty much about it. I mean, I don't know anybody else out there.
I don't think they'll be willing to continuously pay the luxury
San
tax.
Antonio won't even. Last year they didn't even spend
the
salary cap.
Yeah.
To me, that's smart. I don't know.
I'm just saying.
I look at it as like, bro, if you're not gonna compete, what are we spending all this money for?
Well, we got these free agents in here to not compete. Yeah.
And I think Mark Cuban would in the right
situation. Yeah, Mark Cuban. I think yeah. I think it's 5.
The rest of these dudes ain't spending that type of money.
Yeah.
It's just not.
I agree.
I mean, so the structure being the way that it is, I mean, what do you expect? And so that's why you don't hear think about this. That's why you don't hear any of these small, and I think Miami will too.
I was thinking about. I didn't know if Mickey Harrison would continue. I think he
would.
might do 1 or 2 years, but like 5,
But-
10.
Pat Riley's a little bit smarter than how he
Yeah,
does.
but what I'm saying is, when you think about it, that's why you have not heard any of the small market teams talk about let's go get Dame. They can't afford it.
No. The only team that I think that could have a legit shot, a small market team, is Oklahoma. That's just because they have so many young pieces that.
But they got so many draft picks. They
Well,
got
that
35 draft picks over like the next 7 years.
Yeah, that too. But they ain't gonna know. He ain't
I mean,
trying to play. He ain't trying to play with Shea Gildress and Chet Holmgren.
Hold on, what you just said.
I like Chet though.
Yeah, listen to what you just said.
What's
What
that?
did you just say?
I forgot.
You said Dame. You said Dame ain't going there because he ain't got no time for it. Hey man,
You ain't got no
you
choice.
ain't got no choice. You ain't got no trade clause. You ain't got no choice.
So basically, go on back over with Shea Gildress, get these plays together, run these plays.
Hey, what we just talked about, right? We just talked about the owners, right?
Yeah.
Right. So my whole thing, if I'm an owner, you don't want to play for my organization? All right. I'm gonna do what I got to do to make sure my organization benefits, because you were the best player that's ever played in this organization.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna trade you and get the most out of you. And so after that, you're gone. So if that means I got to send you to Oklahoma City,
I guess I send you to Oklahoma City. I guess that's what I'm gonna
and let you figure it out, because you made the decision.
With that being said, okay, so let's go back. So we've got to the point where we feel like, where we kind of on the same page. It's Dame's fault for him being in the situation he's been in. But do you give Dame any credit for being loyal to Portland for that many years? You know what I'm saying? As far as Portland trying to find a team that would be decent to trade him to. I mean, I know they could care less about trading him to a contender. I mean, he's not playing for them. He's not bringing them anything. So
if CJ McCollum,
but I think him being loyal for 10 years, I think, I would show some type of love to him.
I mean,
try to get into a decent
I guess my
team.
question is, again, you talk about loyal.
I guess he just did his job.
We
I felt like that's what you was about to say.
we paid you.
Yeah.
I guess what we're saying is he's as loyal as his check.
He's getting $60 million.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know no other guy in the league getting $60 million.
Jaylen Brown's about to be.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. The back end, like if they sign him
end?
as extension, the last 2 years it'd be $60 million.
So all I'm saying to you is, he's loyal. He was getting paid.
You're right.
I see what you're saying.
I get it.
So it's not like he was up there making 5.
They
10
made sure.
yeah.
Listen, he was never. There was never shortchanging him. He was never paid under the max.
That was his city.
Right.
Yeah, that's Dame City. So he developed that whole thing. Loyal, I'm just loyal. I'm loyal. No, you loyal because you getting paid.
You ain't loyal, you a fool.
But you loyal, and I'll leave it at this. Yeah, you loyal, but you're loyal to a fault.
Yep,
And that's what Maurice Triplets' comment was. He said he's loyal to a fault. But anyways, we going to take a quick break. We getting ready to play a song from an artist here in Lexington. This is Slap Mob. Check it out here on Beyond the Game on WLXU 93.9 FM.
Slap Mob. What he slap?
And cheeks. He said, "What we doing?"
We got the slow
He said, "What we doing?" Can we get a little value for you, Chuck? Oh, they play that?
That's all my essence radio.
It's radio version?
Yeah.
That's what it's supposed to be. That was Slap Mob right there. With
a slap.
So it's Slap Mob right there. She Won't Do Some. That is available on Spotify and Apple Music. Slap Mob here in Lexington, Kentucky. We getting ready to wrap things up here on today's show, Beyond the Game of WLXU 93.9 FM. But before we go, that's what it started off. It sounded like it had R. Kelly vibes to it. You're right.
Oh,
now go ahead. Go ahead, Joe. We're gonna let you go. That's your city.
No.
That's your city.
I may get in trouble. They'll be like, you ruined Robert Kelly.
You know what?
Get him
before we get into Ralph's messy moment, somebody had made a great point. They said, obviously people have trouble separating the man from the music, but they was like, well, if that's the case, there's a lot of stuff that he wrote that y'all can't listen to as well. That y'all don't know he wrote. So y'all can't listen to some of Michael Jackson's songs because they can't. And for the younger generation, y'all can't listen to B2K because he wrote some of their songs. So there's a lot of songs he wrote that you like that you can't listen to that either. But anyways, that's neither here nor there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Chuck used to tell me that they used to ride by and they used to see R. Kelly parked out front of high school.
It's true. Right outside with the 12 play on the license plate.
He told me these stories today.
Pretty brown.
And I was singing all to the juniors and seniors. Y'all want me to go and sing it live? I'll do it for free. But anyways, let's get into Ralph's messy moment. Ralph, what you got on tap for us, man?
I didn't think he was really gonna do it, Q. But since we're here, be legend.
What?
I'm sure you don't care, but
I'm
bringing it up. I just want an opinion. The Keke Palmer situation.
Keke Palmer.
Tell everybody what the situation is.
Tell them what the situation is.
What was it
Usher's residency in Las Vegas?
Yeah, man. I guess we're gonna say it was a little Usher concert.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And Usher was going around, picking out women,
Mm-hmm.
singing to them.
Mm-hmm.
Keke Palmer was one of the women that he chose to walk up to, sing to.
Mm-hmm.
Keke Palmer had on a very revealing dress.
See through. Seeing cheeks.
Cheeks were definitely out.
Cheeks was out.
But with that, caused a little tension in the relationship. Boyfriend decided, to
Ex now.
Oh, I didn't know we went that far.
Ex now.
Ex-boyfriend decided to, speak his opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure his feelings were hurt.
What was his opinion?
She's a mom. He don't want, the mother of his children walking around or being in places with her butt cheeks out. So,
was he with her?
That I don't know.
Physically, no. Couple, yes.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
So yeah, I think they were still together. I felt like I don't know if I heard that I don't know if he's seen the outfit before she went to the concert, whatever the performance was, but I just want to know, fellas. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Was she wrong? Was he wrong? Obviously, he was wrong because he's the ex.
Was he wrong? What did you say? Was he wrong for voicing his opinion?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Especially on social media. You could have voiced your opinion to her personally.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
The girl, but the fact he took it to social media, that's where brought everybody else into the
situation. I feel like he thought that when he made that comment, social media was gonna have his back. Like, yeah, but now they ended up jumping. He jumped, and then he got off of social media. It's like, yeah, bro, you should have thought that was through, bro. So, but to me, I don't care if I'm with a woman. I would expect her to represent me in a respectable way. And also, I feel like he probably knew she had that. Ain't no way.
That's the part that I'm like.
Ain't no way my woman is out of town somewhere and she's not sitting like, hey man, look what I got on here. I'm wearing, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh baby, you look good. Go have a good time or whatever. So I find it hard to believe he didn't know that. So I don't think that outfit was the problem. It was the fact that it was Usher singing to him.
And I had a conversation with somebody, and that's exactly what I said. I felt like it wasn't the fact of what she had on; it was the fact that it was Usher.
He was threatened by Usher.
He was highly threatened by what he felt like Usher. If Usher wanted Keke, Usher could have Keke.
Don't leave your girl around me. True player for real. For real. So yeah, I think he should have just waited, handled that in house, let her get home, read her the riot act, and then we just go up from there. Chuck.
Come on, legend.
Chuck.
Player.
Go on, end the show, man. What's your thoughts?
Get a little messy.
Look, man.
I was going to say, for the people who watch it, when he pops up and listen, man, he's got to come with something. Go ahead, Chuck.
Look, man, I view things a lot differently. First of all, you in Vegas. So that kind of speaks for itself. When people go to Vegas, they tend to, just relax, have a good time, or whatever the case may be. But here's the reality to all of this, right? Whether it was Usher or whether it was Don, John, whoever it is, I'm just a firm believer in, a person gonna do what they want to do.
100%.
It ain't got nothing to do with Usher singing, to her or whatever the case may be. The bigger thing is it'll be completely different if Usher, if there was some factual thing that Usher sang to her and then he took her home and he
looked at her in the eyes,
and the room started shaking, right?
He looked in the eyes.
We don't know what that is, right? I mean, so to me, when I feel a certain way, I'm kind of a different type dude, man. I just like.
I'm not tripping about that, bro.
I'm not. I'm just not, because the reality to it is, and as harsh as it sounds, she gonna do what she want to do.
Thanks, bro. I've said, man.
She gonna do what she want, and ain't nothing you can do about it.
Nothing you can do, bro.
My daddy told me a story.
Story time.
Daddy told me a story a long time ago. He said, "Look, son, here's the deal."
Oh, man.
I'm just saying. That's what he told me.
What he tell you,
I'm
Chuck?
with you, bro.
That's what he told me. He said, "Look, here's the deal. When you out here and you are dealing with these women, you gotta understand one basic thing: that you don't own that.
Come on, bro.
They own it.
Come on, man.
All right. So what that means is they can do whatever with it that they want to. So the minute that you fall into that trap and you think that that girl is yours and you own it, it's a wrap.
That's the mistake you made.
She gonna show you otherwise.
It's a wrap. So never just assume, oh man, that's my, that's my girl and that's just mine. Ain't gonna anything is possible. Now,
That's what KG said.
on the flip side to that, on the flip side, but see a double-edged sword to that too.
Honey, that Cheerio.
Because she's got to understand that she don't own that.
100%. It goes both ways.
It goes both ways.
100%.
Right? So if he had to trust that woman to know that she wasn't going to do this or do that. It's Usher, man. That's hey, man, that meant, that's confession.
Confession. Man. That's Usher Raymond.
That's Usher.
You see the reaction when he walked up to her.
she
didn't know what to do with herself.
But you gotta understand, man. They go out, they with the homegirls, they out partying, they out drinking, Usher's singing, they having a good old time.
Hey,
I think Usher touched
you what,
too.
If I'm there and Usher pull my comes and singing I'm singing background vocals. You helping me out, Blair. Because at the end of the night,
you know what time it is.
You feel me? You helping me, Usher. Hey, sing to it, bro. Do your thing.
That's probably two dudes. There's probably two dudes that, maybe three, but maybe two dudes that if they got a hold of one woman, I was gonna let it go.
Yeah.
One would have been Prince.
Yeah.
And one would have been R. Kelly.
Yeah.
I was just gonna let him go. I release you.
Do your thing.
I really,
Well, you said ain't no coming back from that. So
Prince and R. Kelly.
Come on, man. It's Prince now. This dude walk around in heels.
Come on, man.
With his butt cheek
hair looks better than that.
Come on, man.
Prince come around that corner looking at,
with the blouse and everything.
You can't come back from that.
You can't compete with that, rap.
Right?
Just holler at me when you get back in town.
No, don't even holler at me.
Don't even holler.
Because I can't do that.
You can't do no with that.
So all I'm saying is, maybe I may feel a certain type of way about it, but I'm just not gonna put that type of energy into it because, they out, they having a good time, they drinking. It is what it. Usher gonna do that to your woman, just like he gonna do it to that person. Usher don't. He know it's Kiki, so that's got something else to do with it, right?
Add a little
so he gonna have fun with it or whatever. But Usher already got it. If Usher wanted your chick, he would have had it a long time before you had it.
And on top of that, if he want your chick, ain't nothing you can do about it anyway.
Ain't nothing you can do about it anyway. I said his booty cheeks were so tight.
He was sitting up.
I ain't saying you ain't gonna feel a certain type of way about it, but ain't nothing you can do about it.
Nothing you can do.
So why you gonna spend that type of energy, man?
The only thing you can do about it is hold his ill, bro.
And guess what he did? He didn't hold a double L because he lost his girl
and he
got ganged up on social media.
Yeah, so by you going on social media, going out there, saying all that foolishness, whatever. Now you look stupid, because of that. So I ain't saying
you lost 3 times because now your partners is like, bro, you had Kiki.
And the last thing I'm gonna say, y'all not married, bro. That's your girl.
Yeah. And more importantly than that, and I'll say this, and I'll back off all that, and I'll just say this. If he felt that way, there's a right way to handle it.
And that's why I say social
Right.
media is not the answer.
That ain't the
people.
way to go on social
Stop going to social media with your
Social
problem.
media, right.
Stop.
When she come home or when she leave, pick up the phone, call, and have a conversation, communicate how you feel.
And then we handle it from
And
there.
then we handle it. And if we can't get past it, then we go on.
Then we go on our separate ways. There it is.
There it is.
Chuck's final thoughts on Beyond the Game on WLXU 93.9 FM. We get ready to get on up out of here. As always, we want you to make sure you like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, KY Beyond the Game. Download the podcast on all major podcast platforms. The song we played today was by artist Slap Mob here in Lexington, Kentucky. We get ready to get up out of here. As always, we want you to treat somebody. Hey, you want somebody to treat your mama. We up at this thing, y'all. Peace.
We're going to have fun with that. That's just started.
And Prince get hold this over. It's over. Like that. How did that go for you?
You have a good time?
You
bring me something back? You bring me something back?
What he saying to you? You playing guitar?
Last year in Kentucky. The number one factor in all these collisions